All right, this is RT Shot Planner Pro. This is intended to be an RT app to run on a cell phone. Um, it's pretty unique, so if I select a 2-inch pipe here, you'll see it auto place my source. It auto placed the offset of my source, gave me my new distance, um, and it also showed me a piece of film. So what this is a shot time calculator, which there's my shot time, with a physics engine built in. So this is live computing what the film would come out like. So there it is. There's this weld stacked up. I can open up um, my ellipse there, and it also gives me mag, distortion, UG, and the density. So what I'm doing here is I'm taking each point on this piece of film and I'm tracing it in 3D space back to this source. Um, it's pretty unique as RT apps go. The other nice thing about it is this source auto placement. It's going to pick my technique. So this is technique D. Um, and it's going to place my source for me for the optimum shot. You could do stuff in here like do a minimum shot time. Sometimes that's a requirement. You can't shoot anything less than 1 minute. There's different stuff like that depending on your site. Um, but yeah, it's a pretty interesting app, pretty unique. And, you know, by building all this in, we can get every single parameter for every single point on the film. So it's pretty nice. Um, so obviously it understands the 3D spatial, the material it's going through. It's a pretty solid app for how our T apps go. It will also give me let's see, there we go. It will also give me a boundary calculation. Again, it gives me the shot time and it gives me a shot time countdown. Um, let's see, what else do we got? So in this case, we'll go back to a superimposed. Let's get a 4-inch. So now we're superimposed. I can go up here to my shots, and here's my 0 to 1, my 1 to 2, my 2 to 0. And what I can do here is, let's say I found a defect on 0 to 1, and it was over here. So it's going to plot up here, it's plotting from the source where it interacts with the film so I could help locate it. So there's 1. Now if I go to my 1 to 2, and over on the 2 side, let's say I had a flaw right there. Let me move that over a little bit. I'm trying to match up where it would be. So now I've triangulated the location of the flaw. So if I have on my 0 to 1 a flaw over here on the right side, and on my 1 to 2 a flaw over here on my right side, that would tell me that this flaw is located right here. So it could be here, here, based on the 0 to 1, and on the 1 to 2, it could be here or here. So they overlap, and that's the location of your flaw. Most probably. You can't say 100%, but that's where that flaw would be located. Um, but yeah, so that's an interesting thing I added in there. Pretty simple functionality, but could really save somebody when they're trying to help mark up a reject for repair. If I go over here to the defect, this is a defect simulator. So I can go ahead and add flaws. I'm going to auto-generate some flaws here. I have a lack of fusion, and a porosity, it looks like. I can't really read that. Again, this is supposed to run on a cell phone. But now I can simulate these flaws. They're located in the weld. And this is going to simulate my 3 pieces of film for the flaws that are located in there. These flaws look a little bit crappy. I'm going to rotate them so they're not stacked up on top of each other. So there, that flaw's there. This flaw, we'll go ahead and move that over here. Spread them out. Okay, so I'm going to resimulate that film, which I think I did. Yep, they're nice and spread out now. So now I could go ahead and click on this flaw. There's a lack of penetration. And I can go ahead and click this and go into the 3D view of the lack of penetration. So there's my source, there's my film, and there's a beam interacting with that lack of penetration. This is sometimes pretty helpful, especially on uh, uh, lack of fusion. Lack of fusion will be visible in certain areas when you're coming up around a slope. But so there's my porosity, and this is what I was talking about. It's actually on this near side, and it's going to show up on that far side. Pretty interesting. But again, a lack of fusion is that's the really helpful one here. If I go ahead and add a lack of fusion, I'm going to put it on this bevel. So there's our big, tall lack of fusion. I'm making it the whole length pretty much. Let's just rotate this out. Place it somewhere. All right, now it's on its own right there. And I can go ahead and get rid of that. These two. It's a little bit more cleaned up. And I'm going to put it right there. All right, so now if I simulate this film, you'll see that lack of fusion is big. It's almost near through wall. And so here it is here, I believe. Lack of fusion. Lack of fusion. But on this last one, over here, that's where it hits. That's where it's detectable, when it's coming up the edge there. And we can go look at that. And if you look, the beam is passing with the lack of fusion through the flaw. So I'm getting a lot of density change there. That's gonna make that flaw pop out on the film there. Over here, where it didn't show up, if we go look at that, I'm slicing right through the thickness of that lack of fusion. It's on an oblique angle, so I'm getting a little bit thicker than the actual thickness as it slices through there, but it's not enough to make it show up on the film. And that is why lack of fusion is so hard to detect. And why it can show up in some shots and not other shots. This is a planar flaw, and RT, unless the plane is oriented in the same direction as the beam, it does pretty bad with the planar flaws. This also has a lot to do with how wide this lack of fusion is. But yeah, so I threw that in there. Kind of helpful. But yeah, again, there's the source, there's the flaw, there's the film, and we're plotting a ray through that flaw. But yeah, that's pretty much what I built out. There's some other things in here. I made it so I can, or at least I added a module so I could do two different thicknesses, a tapered backside, stuff like that. There's all the films that you'd want. Film sizes, type of source, the Curies, it decays the source for you. And I built in this little job walk. So if I add a job, essentially, this would be when you go to, when the client's showing you where the welds are located, you can enter in some weld information, and you can pinpoint the spot on the map. It will do it based off your GPS location. You could say we got to do RT, a final PT, a PMI, and a hardness testing. And then you could save your weld, and then there's your information. I think if I hit this, yep. So it just went out and pulled in my shot time for me. And it saved it back to the weld based on the size and schedule of the weld. I don't believe I had a size and scheduled pick out here. So let's see. See if we can edit this well. Yeah, here we go. So if I change this, oh no, it was a 4-inch, schedule 40. Um, and then I think if I hit this, no, there should be a shot timer here. Um, oh, there it is. So now I can start. That's a 17-second shot. Sounds wrong. Not sure if it's actually right. But this shot, the calculator works. I'm not sure what it did there and whether or not that was accurate. Probably is. But yeah, so that's my RT app. Not done. Definitely needs some fixing up. Um, oh, it wasn't accurate. It's doing this. It's doing a contact shot. It shouldn't be contact. It should be raised up. Um, but yeah, a couple bugs here and there, but essentially, it's your just out of this world shot time calculator defect simulator. But yeah, thanks for watching.